Every actor dreams of fame, stardom, and a devoted fan base. But what happens when they finally get all that?
It's a blessing and a curse.
Let's explore why Robert Pattinson felt trapped by his iconic character.
Were you a fan of Twilight?
Me? Oh.
Learn what Penn Badgley thinks about playing villains, and why Daniel Radcliffe struggled during his time as Harry Potter. Let's dive in. Robert Pattinson. Twilight made him an international superstar, but Robert's dislike for the franchise soon became apparent.
There's a lot of stuff in the Twilight world that doesn't make any sense.
When filming began, the actor wasn't shy about expressing his thoughts on Edward. In Pattinson's opinion, his character had no depth, his motivations were absurd and actions illogical.
It's something about some guy, if he says like, listen, I'm gonna kill you, it's something really attractive about that. I was like, yeah, I mean, I really can't see it.
He infused his portrayal with sarcasm, hoping to expose Edward's flaws. The actor shared that he didn't have to try too hard to play the brooding vampire.
It's kind of a mixture of looking like slightly constipated and stoned.
And that was just one quote from his numerous interviews where he trashed the franchise. Still, the Twilight movies were a huge success, and fame brought another problem to its cast: the intense attention from fans. Every day, people sat near my house, and it drove me crazy. I haven't been to the supermarket for about, God knows, 6 years. All this hype made Robert feel trapped by his character. The actor had to prove that he was not just that guy from Twilight. He consciously chose experimental and even provocative roles, like in Cosmopolis and Lighthouse. His performances in Tenet and The Batman were praised by fans and critics alike. And in recent years, Robert has become more diplomatic about his time on the vampire saga. So it seems like he's finally recognized its role in his success. And we're moving on to the actress who'd probably like to forget her first famous show. Blake Lively. Before landing the role on Gossip Girl, Blake considered quitting acting. She planned to enter Columbia University instead. But the show's creators convinced her that she could combine filming and studying. That turned out to be impossible, though, as Serena Van Der Woodsen became a symbol of a glamorous life. She was adored by millions, which became stressful for Lively, who didn't actually relate to the Manhattan princess. The popular Upper East Sider was caught up in lies and scandals too many times, and Lively expressed concerns over glamorizing that bad behavior. People loved it, but it always felt a little personally compromising. You want to be putting a better message out there. The glamorous blonde from the screen became her unwanted shadow, and it seems like she hasn't left the actress even after the show ended. But Lively wasn't the only Gossip Girl alum who played the deeply flawed character. Penn Badgley. He didn't directly state he hated his character on Gossip Girl.
Dan Humphrey sucks.
However, Penn wasn't pleased that the line between him and his character became so blurred. It's not that I don't like Dan, it's just, after a while, you're known as somebody that you're just not, and this is somebody who I so am not. However, Penn's next role has brought him even more popularity. Joe Goldberg, the main character of You, isn't a good guy. Like, at all. Badgley is fully aware of that.
I am known for playing off-putting and villainous characters. How did I end up here? Oh my God.
That's why he was impressed by how many fans have developed a crush on Joe. Penn definitely doesn't approve of that. And it's quite possible that his upcoming roles will be less morally ambiguous. We now turn to another actor who regretted saying yes to a project. Jamie Dornan. The controversial 50 Shades of Grey trilogy made Jamie a household name, but the actor was ultimately not too thrilled about it. He simply didn't like his S&M character.
Well, there's lots of things I find kind of gross about him, to be honest.
Dornan admitted he found it hard to connect to Christian Grey, saying, "I don't think I'll ever play a character who's less like me." And that is huge, given that before Shades, he portrayed a serial killer on the show The Fall. His co-star Dacota Johnson wasn't happy with her time on the set, too. She candidly called it a psychotic experience. If I had known at the time that's what it was going to be like, I don't think anyone would have done it. Johnson clarified, though, that she doesn't regret making the films. Ultimately, it benefited both her and Dornan's careers. But can the same be said for our next celebrity? Andrew Lincoln. Now he's most famous as Rick Grimes from the Walking Dead franchise. But Lincoln has first entered fans' hearts as Mark in Love, Actually. and he still has mixed feelings about that part. In one of the most romantic movies of all time, I got to play the only guy who doesn't get the girl. Moreover, he thought his on-screen counterpart was kind of a weird stalker. Thankfully, Andrew's natural charm let him get away with it. The Brit even reunited with his co-stars in the charity short film 15 years later. However, Lincoln hasn't had any prominent romantic gigs since Love Actually. And we're moving on to the star who is still haunted by her iconic role. Kate Winslet. The actress was only 20 when she was cast in Titanic.
I remember the sequence we were filming when I turned 21, and it was that sequence.
The filming turned out to be quite grueling. She had to spend loads of time in cold water. On top of that, Kate would prefer some scenes to be shot more delicately, particularly the one where Jack draws a naked rose. For years, fans kept coming to her with that picture for an autograph.
In its most acute phase of Titanicness, it was really not much fun.
And the constant discussions of Jack's demise became pretty irritating as well. Moreover, Winslet, like many actors, is prone to self-criticism. Looking back, she hated her American accent, which was, in her own words, awful. Well, our next celebrity didn't have to struggle with that. Daniel Radcliffe. No matter how many years have gone by, he is automatically associated with Harry Potter.
It was very, very strange to leave it behind.
Because you were 11 when you started?
Yes, and 21 when I finished.
The story of the boy who lived brought Daniel worldwide fame, but it also turned his life upside down. Constant filming, interviews, fans, all this became his new reality. His every move has been scrutinized both on and off the screen.
I never, as a kid and you're just insecure and at that age, I never felt cool at any point playing that character.
Working on a tight schedule and being constantly in the public eye wasn't easy for a child star.
Part of the thing is the expectation that you should just be delighted all the time. You know, you have a great job, you're wealthy, you don't have a right to ever feel sad or to not be excited about the whole thing all the time.
Radcliffe was also concerned about being seen as a one-trick pony. The actor confessed that he drank heavily between the ages of 18 and 20, just to cope with the pressure. Thankfully, Daniel overcame these difficulties. He went on to purposefully choose projects that would be as far from Harry Potter as possible. From avant-garde stage performances to gothic thrillers to completely non-standard films, such as Swiss Army Man. It's safe to say that now he's proven he can handle any genre. Last year, Radcliffe won his first Tony Award for Best Performance by a featured actor in a musical. So does he regret the role of the boy who lived?
As much as I'm very happy to be doing other films now, I'm always genuinely very honored when someone comes up and says you're a huge part of my childhood.
However, Daniel has made it clear that he has no intention of returning to the franchise, which is frustrating for his fans, who hope to see him in the upcoming Harry Potter series. And what do you think about it? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching.